Fist Network for the strong, not the weak.
Disingenuous idea that black people sold black people into slavery. I frequently speak about this oversimplification, as we cannot apply 21st century Pan-African concepts to 17th or 18th century peoples. The overwhelming majority of African people back then identified in full with their own culture and linguistic group, and not skin color or even phenotype. So what's been implied by that statement is ahistorical at best. But this lie about African people is only a subgroup of an even bigger lie, one of the first lies ever told about our ancestors. What up, African World? It's Home Team here, and welcome back to another video of African history, culture, and worldview. By supporting this channel on Patreon, you're helping in the creation of these videos and supporting this content. If you'd like access to full courses and sources, or you simply want to show your support, you may do so by clicking the Patreon link in the description box below. Before we get into the greatest lie ever told about Africans, let's not forget some of the more well-known ones. The Dark Continent trope really became one of the most popular lies told about African people. The idea was that Africans were backward savages with no civilization, with the exception of Egypt, which they consistently placed outside the sphere of African cultural achievement. Civilizations like ancient Ghana in West Africa weren't privy to much observation, despite it being known for its vast wealth and powerful military, which Muslim writers wrote about. Archaeological reports highlight ancient stone settlements that are believed to be a precursor to Sudanic civilization in the region, not to mention the art of the Yoruba people, who single-handedly forced the world to acknowledge African ingenuity and intelligence, as some try to assign the development of such works to ancient European travelers. There's just too much to ignore when it comes to African civilization. The Dark Continent trope doesn't have any ground to stand on when we consider ancient Meroitic civilization and the great Kushite rulers who started what some scholars call the African Renaissance, which was perhaps the first Renaissance in human history. And let's not forget the largest stone structures south of the Sahara. Great Zimbabwe is just one of many stone structures in the southern African region, revealing the glorious era of Shona civilization. Another lie that consistently makes its rounds in our Western consciousness is that Africans had no writing systems and that they relied on oral communication. Africans used diverse methods to communicate, oral transmission simply being one of them. One of the more popular writing forms in West Africa is called Nsibidi, believed to have originated amongst the Ikoi people of Nigeria. This writing form is largely viewed as ideographic or pictographic, conveying messages through symbols. It's interesting that many writing forms in Africa were originally invented for a specific class of people and not intended for public dissemination. For example, Egyptian hieroglyphs were originally only known amongst the priesthood. This is also true for the secret writing form of the Songhai people, who used ideograms to communicate amongst a secret society or religious group. Interestingly enough, this writing form was only revealed to the public in 2010 by a Songhai scholar named Hassini Maiga. When dealing with African scripts, we can point to the Meroitic script of the Kushites, which to this day has not been fully deciphered. And that's really disappointing, as it would have been incredible to decipher Queen Amanirenas' stela concerning her triumphant interaction with the Romans, in which her primary objectives were met in a treaty. Even Southern Africa has some hidden gems when it comes to writing forms. João de Barros, a distinguished Portuguese analyst of the mid-16th century, upon his visit to Zimbabwe, wrote a very important description concerning the discovery of a writing form in one of the vassal kingdoms of the Mwenimutapa Empire, called Batua. De Barros writes, "Over the gate of the building is an inscription, which neither the Moorish traders who were there nor others learned in inscriptions could read, nor does anyone know in what character it is written." We really don't know what Joe de Barros saw, but from his perspective, it seems clear that he viewed what he saw as a sort of writing form which was indigenous to the region. Not even the Swahili traders that accompanied him could decipher it. Unfortunately, we really never hear about this again. Anyway, all this babbling I'm doing is for a reason. The lies told about Africa are many, and I really want us to understand the full scope of it and how grossly inaccurate they are. What may have started out as innocent quickly turned into an agenda that we have yet to undo. But by far, the greatest lie told about Africa has nothing to do with civilization, writing, or any of that. The greatest lie told about Africa actually came from a religious idea, and as we all know, religion has been one of the most powerful forces in human history. It's no wonder that this particular lie affected African people so greatly. It's nearly impossible to ignore the Abrahamic religions when speaking about Afro-descendant people, because these religions are a big part of our history, whether we like to admit it or not. They greatly influenced our spiritual paradigms and worldviews. This lie, originating amongst the Abrahamic religions, as many of us know, is called the Curse of Ham. I don't want to distract with theological history or debate, but in short, the Curse of Ham is a misnomer because the curse was really bestowed upon Canaan. Jewish scholars believe that Ham was the ancestor of all black or African people, and this idea was adopted by Arabs, and then it was strategically broadened by Europeans to justify the enslavement and demonization of African people. This is the greatest lie that has been told to our people, because it didn't just have physical and psychological repercussions, it also added a spiritual component, because some people within our community actually believe that it's true. And in our attempts at lifting this curse through achievement, acceptance, or spirituality, we turned into concerned, aimless wanderers, heightening confusion and self-hate within our community. It's one of the most powerful invisible enemies we have as Afro-descendant people, one that cannot be tangibly debunked. And although the belief in it has diminished greatly, the residuals may still be felt, because no matter our spiritual beliefs today, many of us were raised with this dark paradigm, and so I think it's important for us to speak on it, especially so that we won't pass this baggage on to the next generation. Anyway, guys, I'm all out. Do you think this is the greatest lie that's ever been told about African people? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like these videos and want to help in its continued production, consider supporting the home team on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. Know thyself. Remember your ancestors. Peace.
Good afternoon. It's your man HRap coming at you live and direct. Thank you for tuning in. I had a bit of technical difficulties at the beginning, but I fixed it because I always have a plan B. Actually, I think I fixed it altogether. I'm put that video that I was going to show you that I think is very important at the end of the show. Let me know if the sound is out. Shout out to SOS and shout out to my man Radar Kev for letting me know that the sound was gone. I think I know what I did wrong. I'm gonna have my face in the place in order to play that video, but that's neither here nor there. Thank you for tuning in for Built for This Network. This is a simulcast on YouTube. Please go to Spreaker.com, subscribe to Built for This Network, hit the like button, tune in, tell a friend to tune in, and YouTube will get alerts. And I also want you to read the bottom of the screen. What does the bottom of the screen say? This is the End of the Bench podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, hit like. Go over about a quarter inch, then hit subscribe. Then go about a quarter inch and hit that bell. Then go up a tenth of an inch and hit all. And you will get notifications. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you for the support. Thank you for everybody who's in both chat rooms. I always toggle back and forth. Shout out to my man Big Skokie. He on the other side too. He on this side and the other side. I got my man Big Skokie over there. It's all good. But like I said, man, y'all know this is a podcast. And what does that mean? This is a simulcast on 3 or 4 or 10 different platforms. It is on Spreaker.com, as I just mentioned, YouTube, under the Spreaker.com, under the Built for This Network banner, Apple Podcasts, Built for This Network, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Deezer, Castbox, and Podcast Addict, and newly, we've been added to the Amazon Prime. Thank you for tuning in, and you know how I start off every show. I said it is important. I am a person who believes in my ancestors. My ancestors guide me through each and every show, and because they guide me through each and every show, what I do is pay homage to each and every ancestor. Everybody connected to the Pollard, Whitmore, Battle, Cotton, Lansdowne, Bailey, Shaw, Thompson, Chris Lansdowne. Said Lansdowne twice, Ligon, Duncan, and you already know me, my mother, my brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, cousins, neighbors, friends, and family. We the Williams clan. We in the building. And now, as you said, the reason I started to show off, well, I wasn't going to do that, was do that mid-show. The reason I start these videos off each week is because I think we need to know these things. We definitely need to know these things. And the reason I'm even talking about this today is this. Well, contrary to popular belief, being a conservative is not a white thing. It is not a Caucasian or European-based thing. It is something, it's just a way of life. And believe it or not, primarily our community is conservative. We've been steered into this thing called democracy and Democratic Party. And if you did a little research, you probably wouldn't vote Democratic because that's the party of the Ku Klux Klan originally. But that's neither here nor there. We're not going to get into that historically. So the reason I'm bringing this up is we're consistently poisoning our youth. And what we do, and when I say we, there's no individual, there's no need for anyone to, because I find it almost routine when you say something, make a general broad sweeping statement. As my grandfather used to say, you sling a dead cat in the room. The person who hollers, that's the person who got hit. It's always a person that say, well, not me. So I'm speaking about our community. Anytime I say we, I'm speaking about our community. If it doesn't cover you, there's no need for you to defend yourself because it's not covering you. But it seems as if we have become more, for lack of a better term, Europeanized, Americanized. See, at one point, I can remember in my life, something as simple as you would watch the Grammys and the award shows, And if it would always be routinely somebody outside of our culture dressed like I'm dressed currently. They be dressed down. Everybody else dressed to the nines, and this dude show up in a t-shirt, crumply t-shirt. He's probably intoxicated in some way, whether it be whatever, it doesn't make a difference. He's intoxicated, and I could feel. I was a very young person, but I could feel the energy in the room. Oh, good thing he's not one of us. And believe it or not, I think at some point, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, we need to return to that behavior. I'm not telling you to be a stick in the mud. I'm not telling you to, as they say, be a tight ass. I'm not telling you to be that. I'm not. I'm not saying do that. What I am saying is this. We need to watch our step publicly. And when we watch our step publicly, we can be who we want to be privately. Like, again, I'll take you back to television. I'm going to use a lot of television references today, obviously. But I can remember A Different World. And Dwayne Wayne, he ended up getting a job in Japan. And he was wearing shirts and ties and things of that nature. And what happened was he came back and Whitley was all into him now. And then she came to his apartment. He was regular old Dwayne Wayne. He was partying, boogieing. I think we must return to that. We must outwardly present kings and queens, and inwardly we could be ourselves, because I don't buy into the narrative of, hey man, if we were dressed to the nines and dressed appropriately and our pants were up, the police wouldn't bother us. That's a lie. That's not a point of opinion. That's a lie, because I could think of two people who spoke the king's English to the queen's taste, and they were elegant. Three of them. They dressed to the nines every time you saw them. Shirt, tie, clean, pressed, looking great. And Medgar Evers, an attorney, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., received his PhD at age 26, where most people are receiving their masters. And our ancestor, El Hajj El Malik Shabazz, a.k.a. Malcolm X, they were all shot and killed. But in order to raise a community of young people, we must present outwardly to them what we want to see. We are programming our children to be who we want them to be, even when we're not watching them. See, it's easy to tell your kids not to smoke cigarettes, but not as you firing up a cigarette, because they're thinking, what are you doing? It's easy to tell your kid to not to drink, and then they're going to say, what about you? See, like me, my mother, and I'm going to always reference my mother. If you don't like it, you need to stop watching this show. But my mother had alcohol in our house, along the bar. She had a little bar. And my mother never took a drink in front of me. Never took a drink in front of me. And I'm not saying that people that do, because hell, I took a drink in front of my kids. But we must be cognizant of what we're presenting to our children. You know, it's this big debate about homosexuality and all this other stuff, LGBTQ, IQ, and all this other stuff that's going on. And they're trying to program our kids. But I'm not saying that we're doing this, and if you're part of that community, God bless you. But we don't need to let our children see adult things before they're age appropriate. And that's what I want. That's the beginning of the story today, because we're exposing our kids too much. I think our children, curiosity is part of being a kid, because you don't know anything and you're trying to learn as much as you can, as fast as you can, so you could be who you want to be and develop into who you are. Psychologists say you are who you are by the age 7. If that's remotely correct, we need to keep our kids in the state of mind of a young person up until 7, and then let them systematically develop into this. We need to watch the television shows they're listening to. We need to listen to the music that they're listening to. And if you don't like the music your kids are listening to, guess what? Maybe you need to play some of our music, the quality music that we listen to. You know, maybe you need to play some Stevie Wonder, some OJ, some get anything made by Gamble and Huff, anything made by the Motown sound or other quality musics that we listen to, because then and only then that music is a thing that touches your soul. Strings have been documented that the string and the piano or harp or violin or guitar, it touches something. It makes you vibrate on a higher level. And if you think your kids or the kids around you are not vibrating at a higher level, let's again, like last week, this ties right into last week. Maybe we need to get to know, like I seen in the chat room, my man Big Mo, my sister 2Q, my man Rated Care. Maybe we need to start knowing everybody on this side of our street and everybody on that side of the street from corner to corner. And then we can start communicating and raising each other's kids and playing the music and playing the sound and create a culture in which our kids are elevated. Don't get me wrong, man, because I grew up in that situation, and first chance I got, I played me some NWA. But I also played Public Enemy. And I also played some KRS-One. I also played Eric B. and Rakim and so forth and so on, some De La Soul and Tribe Called Quest. If you don't want our kids to be uber aggressive, if you don't want our kids to have the wrong influence, well, we need to start influencing our children. We cannot allow our kids to be influenced by outside sources anymore. No more, because their lives are in jeopardy, their spirits are in jeopardy, and their futures are in jeopardy. Because if they never hear, as my sister 2Q said, Gamble and Huff, and they don't get that good feeling, you can't hide from yourself. Everywhere you go, there you are. We can't get that. If they ain't never heard something of that nature, then how do you expect them to even think in that direction? If all they hearing is sex, money, drugs, sex, money, mayhem. If that's all you're hearing, that's what's going to be on their mind. See, whatever decisions we made in life, good, bad, or indifferent, we made those with a foundation. If you're a spiritual person, you go back to the Bible, teach your kids, and they'll always return to what you taught them, right? So, and then, of course, that's abbreviated, whatever, but you get the gist of it. We must start developing our kids in the way in which our parents developed us. Now, I'm not telling you that our parents are perfect, because after becoming an older man, I don't agree with spanking anymore. Because you have to look at a kid, like if you get ready to spank your child, think about yourself. You didn't like to be spanked, or whipped, or whatever you want to call it. You ain't like to be struck. And how many times have you whooped yourself for the mistakes that you've made? Probably never. So if you're gonna whoop your child for making mistakes, you need to find somebody to whoop you to make your mistakes, right? But now what you do is you beat yourself up psychologically, and then what we need to do is create situations in which we have back and forth with our kids. We don't need our kids. We need to have our kids have a healthy respect of us. But fear is something we don't need to instill into our child, because fear compresses creativity. So if we are talking to our kids, and the best example of that is my man Big Illinois. I watched him handle his nieces and nephews before, and he just talked to them like they were adults. They were very young people, and he talked to them like they were adults. And I'm like, why you talk to him like that? He was like, hey man, that's how you have to be talked to. And this is his nephew's 30. The dude I'm talking about is 30 years old now. So we're putting ourselves in a situation to whereas if we talk to our children the way we wanted to be talked to. Now, our parents, I'm not saying nothing was wrong with what our parents did, because guess what? Our parents did the very best with the information they had. And our job is to elevate. You know, like our parents, like just go, you can just take it in cycles. You got a group of our people that came from directly out of bondage, and they handled things a certain way, and then they elevated into the Black Wall Street people that we always bragging about now, and then then our parents elevated from them, and now they going to college and everything, and then now here we are. Some of our parents went to college, and a lot of us went to college, and now it's time for us to elevate our children to a position in which they will be captains of industry and won't be looking for jobs. They'll be creating jobs. Because what disturbs me is, the good thing is I have a parent and uncle who work for the Department of Unemployment Securities here in Illinois. And I found out when they tell you the unemployment numbers, those are just the people that are eligible to obtain unemployment. That like if you, like I walk along the beach by my crib, and there was this dude who bought a short truck, one of those square trucks, and he took that truck and he turned it into a food pantry. Well, not a food pantry. He turned it into his own little restaurant. He making hot dogs. He making hamburgers. He put a little grill in there. That dude don't have a job, but he created a means of employment, and he's probably feeding him and his family through that. So where the unemployment stats for that? See, we love well, the black community got the highest unemployment rate. One of the reasons we do is because, to credit to those cultures, white people hire white people, Asian people hire Asian people, and we're sitting around asking the whites and the Asian and the Latino people hire Latino people. And we're asking them for jobs instead of creating jobs. Just imagine if that young brother who down here on the beach selling hot dogs and hamburgers and all that out of the back of a truck, just imagine if one day he opens up a restaurant and we need to patronize that restaurant and help that blow up, and now he can hire people and he can sit back and watch. He can see the fruits of his labor. We must get back to putting ourselves in a situation to whereas we are no longer asking for jobs. What we're doing is creating jobs and putting ourselves in a position in which we are the bosses. We are taking over the universe. We are the people in which you're to be answered to. That's the only way we get out of this. That's the only way we get out of this. Because if we don't, we gotta stop. Hey, I'm quick. If you know me, I'm quick to I can trip over a rock walking down the street. I'm gonna blame the man. But let's no longer, even like, we can do it in a joking fashion like I do, but let's no longer hire the man, argue with the man about having a job. Because guess what? As I told y'all go to the SBA.org or .com, either don't or .gov. It's one of the things. Small Business Association. They have contracts there in which you can create your own business via government contract. You bid on a contract every year, you get the contract every. More than likely, if you got it last year, you get it this year, then you create your own situation. We must start investing in ourselves, using the resources, connecting with each other, and putting ourselves in a position in which we will be the captains of the universe, the masters of the universe. We can no longer go, hey man, they didn't do this and they didn't do that, because guess what? You're living in a situation in which they brought you over here. We're living in a situation in which they have hidden everything that's spectacular about you from you. They have put you in a, for lack of a better term, they have put you in a trick bag. So why would they bail you out? They are not going to bail you out. So instead of waiting on them to do something for us, let's us get together, unify, and do it for ourselves. Exactly. My sister just put something there. I work for a Jewish company. They definitely hire black people, but I am in several Facebook groups that black businesses are always looking for our content. Exactly. These are the things that we must do to put ourselves in a position to win. We can no longer be comfortable enough. I remember in the summer, the big situation was early in the summer, Monique talking about people wearing bonnets and things of that nature. Well, we didn't like the way now this is a personal one. I didn't like the way Monique did it, because personally I think Monique did it for game. Monique could have, in my opinion, touched more people if she'd added it to her act. She was on tour at this point. She could have added it to her act, and she'd have had people listen instead of having people fight. And that leads me right into my next point. At what point do we as a community stop doing things for money and start doing things for character purposes? See, we will kick each other in the behind, and then, I brought more people in, and I got a platform, and now I can set people right. But we can just start communicating with each other and letting each other know the do's and the don'ts, the wills and the won'ts, and then we don't have to eat off each other's back. We'll get rid of this cannibalistic mentality. Whereas I can do this, but I'm getting money. At what point does the money plays a secondary role in pride and standards and culture. We gotta stop doing this stuff for money. Another example of what I'm talking about is this dude. You remember the brother, his last name was Cooper, and he called the police on Amy Cooper. Amy Cooper pretended to go into hysteria and call the police on him. Simultaneously, George Floyd is being choked out in Minnesota. This is going on in Central Park, New York. There's a black man, and I can't really tell you why he's doing it. He has a episode of a podcast, and I think he did it for popularity because according to this brother from D.C., he said he's never been called the N-word, and he said he's never been accosted by the police. That's possible. It's not likely, but it's possible. And he's defending Amy Cooper for what he's talking about, what she could have been doing, and what may have been on her mind. Not looking at the situation. Now, me personally, I think he did it to draw attention to himself. It was a shitstorm on Twitter this week. Everybody yelling, screaming him, kicking him in his behind, calling them coons and sellouts and suckers and all this type of stuff. But guess what? The people who are diametrically opposed to your happiness, they're following that dude now. And he's going to get out there like Candace Horn and Jason Whitlock and Jesse Lee Helms. And then he's going to be getting paid on the backs of black people getting angry at the system. So let's do away with the system. We can do away with the system. And white America, the power structure or the dominant society or whatever you want to call it, they understood that. They understood that due to discrimination, first and foremost, they have attempted to destroy us at every step of the way during this country. They stripped you of your name, they stripped you of your culture, they stripped you of your language, they stripped you of everything that was important to have self-pride. And we came out of it a couple hundred years later, and we still smile. We smiled and we moved on. What you don't get taught, see, this is why this thing that everybody's talking about, critical race theory, that's why it's so important, right? It's important simply because when you're doing these things, if you create laws in which I can't teach the authentic history that George Washington was a rapist, George Washington was saved by an African man, taught them immunization, Thomas Jefferson was a rapist too, and they owned people and owned a judge, and George Washington went corresponding back and forth, and these things to let you know that, hey, the people who were in bondage that are part of our lineage weren't just these ignorant, moronic savages brought here to pick cotton and tend the fields. Then you'll be taught the fact that shortly after the Civil War ended and our folks got freed, one of the reasons we were eating watermelon is because we tried to detox ourselves from the swill that they fed us and our grandparents and things of that nature. We were pushing all that negativity, and they turned watermelon into negativity. And it's just every turn they try to further compress our greatness. But if you're unable to teach those things in critical race theory, basically teaching you the facts of what's going on, then your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, your children, or whoever, whatever age group you're a part of, they'll never know these things. And anytime you have something like that, you'll never find out that white people almost starved to death when we were let out of bondage because we did the tilling of the land. They didn't know how to do it. They knew how to yell at people. So when you put yourselves in a situation to whereas you can't learn about you destroy your future, because if you don't know what you have done, you don't know the greatness that's in your past, you definitely can't see the future. Some of us will, but most of us won't, because guess what? All of us are not built to be generals. So we must stop laying the blueprint out, laying the tracks so we can get paid. But the way you get paid is to kick other black people in the behind. That's what we have to stop doing. And another thing, this is another reason I emphasized relationships last week. Relationships are important because with relationships you can create industry. Well, when you create business and industry, you will be able to create a community. When you create a community, you won't need anybody. And that's why those things like critical race theory are being thrown out. They don't want that to be taught. Critical race theory is paramount because the truth, will only elevate you. Sometimes it kicks you in the behind. Anthony Johnson, for example, a brother who came over here on a boat, a free man, got land, got people, some people that look just like him. He looked like us. He got people to work for him, and Anthony Johnson took a white man to court and made slavery permanent. That's the truth, but it's the truth that'll kick you in the behind. But when you setting up laws that, hey, if you teach anything that'll hurt a white person's feelings, you're in violation of the law. Can't do it. Can't do it. But white people realize that, hey, if we teach them, if we allow them to learn about them, they'll do away. They won't need us. You can see that in Chubb's, Georgia. Nicholas Chubb, in that current NFL player, current running back for the Cleveland Browns, his great-great-great-grandfather and his brothers created a town in the midst of rural Georgia, in the midst of enslavement, and bam, they have a town that stands to this day created by black folks. Wilmington, North Carolina, one of the first insurrections, they had people from our community in government right after during Reconstruction, and there was an insurrection and destroyed that. We can go all over the country and show this. They tell you in movies. When you watch hoodlums. They tell you. Dutch Show said, I thought y'all said y'all didn't need any nigga pennies. Dutch Show realized that black people will create their own situations, and if you can't get in on it, we will shut them out. That's one of the only things I don't like about the Civil Rights era. When we were fighting to get into restaurants that didn't want us there, when we should have just continued to shop at our own restaurant. We have the right to do this. We do have the right. Now, you continue to fight for the right, but I'm not sitting at your lunch counter if you don't want me there. But I wasn't there. I don't know the experience. I don't know why they did it. These are some of the most intelligent people in the history of this country, or potentially the history of the world. Bannon Rushton, Whitney Young, Dr. Martin Luther King, Andrew Young, C.T. Vivian. These are some of the most educated and most intelligent people in the history of the world. So obviously they saw something that I'm not currently seeing. But when we created our own universe, they immediately started integration. And integration, whether you agree with me or not, if you look into it in depthly, you'll see integration is one of the greatest weapons ever used against us, and it has been kicking us in the behind for a very long time. I don't like it, but hey, it is what it is. But we created our own grocery stores. At that point, look at it this way. 1960, our literacy rate was 89%. 89%. Now it's around 49%. We had, I think if my numbers are correct, I think we had less than 1,000 people as elected officials. Now we got 10,000. Look at us now. 60% of us were property owners. It's only like 13% of us now. Then you got business owners. We were about 65-70% of the business in our community we own. Now it's not that way because of integration, because for whatever, I use the terminology of, they took Dr. King's dream and turned it against us like a pit bull. He said we, as I just stated, we have the right to do this. And for whatever reason, I have the right to do this and changed it into this is what I want to do. I got the right to go to Macy's. I got the right to go to Carson's. I have the right to go here. But we stopped going to Gimbals. We stopped going to Alleganza. We stopped using that I forgot the name of the makeup line that our elder ancestor Bob Johnson created. He created his own beauty products for us, by us, had it put in Marshall Fields, when I believe, in my personal opinion, again, I think Bob Johnson should have created his own department store here in Chicago, and we would have flocked to that. And then again, that would have changed the course of history when you invest, when you reinvest and reinvest and reinvest and reinvest in us. They did it with the Negro Leagues. The Negro Leagues to this day is a top 5 most successful business, black owned, in the United States of America. They say, nah, we don't want y'all to do that, and we're going to do it our way, and we're going to bring you to the major leagues. And now our brothers who were in the Negro League selling out stadiums, having intramural games with the major leagues, beating their asses. Then you have white people starting to filter into that. That's why they did it. If you don't know these things, then you can't fight against something that's on its way again. You see what I'm saying? That's why, again, that's why I need us to invest in us, to improve us, and make it so we don't need my man Rated Kev. Me and him talk for hours. If you get me and Rated Kev on the phone, we're on the phone. It's usually I'm gonna come on for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna holler at you for 10 minutes. Next thing you know, we 2 hours in. And Rated Kev has changed my mind in regards to reparations. Do I still want reparations? You're damn right. The bill is due. But we don't need reparations to create a universe. And we can create a nation inside of this nation. And we can shop, just like it's a Chinatown in every major city. And United States of America be a little Africa in the same spots. And it wouldn't hurt us. It wouldn't destroy us. It would only improve us. And you can still shop at Marshall Fields. You can still use Amazon.com. You can still use all these other entities, but we can primarily focus on us to improve us. And then you won't have so many people unemployed as black people. And then you won't have as many people disenfranchised. You can invest in us and we'll reinvest in you. And then it's a cyclical situation. Period. $1 trillion bill was signed last week by your current president, and that's for infrastructure. If we start creating construction companies, if we start taking some of these, look, this is what I want you to do, man. Everybody, more than likely everybody who's going to ever listen to my show, you have a friend, a family member, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, somebody, cousin, niece, nephew who has a criminal background. I need you to get those people into construction. Go to whatever your underemployment department is, website. They will pay for you to learn how to pave the road. They will pay for you to learn how to become a plumber. They will help you get into the unions. These are the things we need to start guiding our people who have felony backgrounds and things of that nature, who've made poor decisions no matter what the situation is. Guide them into those things, because when they get into that, you can create your own situation. Because just imagine if we stayed in construction the way we used to be, because now they tricked us into believing college is the way, but college isn't the way for everybody. College isn't the way for everybody because everybody isn't an academic. Some of us didn't become academics until we became about 30. So until we start, look, we get people into this physical labor. Now we can have people rehabbing homes. This $1 trillion infrastructure bill, we can have our own construction companies, and then they already have things in place. So you, as a minority business owner, can get right in with these people in these construction, laying down pavement and asphalt and things of that nature, helping fixing these bridges. You become a welder, you can make $35, $40, $50 an hour. Being a welder, working 9 to 5 every day or 6 to 3 every day, and you home and you're not working on the weekends because the union won't allow it, and then the union trains you on how to do the other things. This is why I created this platform. This is what we need so we can move forward and stop begging. See, because if you have people who've shown you they have a need to not like you, then what they'll do is hold you at bay. If they hold you at bay, then they can control your future. If they control your future, they control your essence. No more of that. We breaking out of those chains. Understand that. So every week I'm going to come on here and give you another way to get paid, another means to help out your family, another means to take us out of this wilderness, mental wilderness, because we don't need these things. We do not need these things. I'm telling you. Just stop allowing the people who, as the kids say, stop allowing the ops to control your optics. Because if you do that, you're only going to put yourself in a better situation. You will only put yourself in a better situation if you stop letting people who don't have your best interests to control your future. And please don't start thinking to yourself about, well, not all white people, because not all black people are good. So I don't need to hear that right now. That's not helping us. What I'm talking about are the people who are definitely anti-us. I don't want to talk about the 10, 11 people that's cool. I'm talking about the 10,000 people that are bad. So we don't need to do all that. But I need us to move in a position like loan signing agent, notary. You do that, trust me, speaking from experience, you can get paid doing notary work, loan signing, or somebody signing off on a home right now or a commercial property right now, and they'll be doing it at 6, and they'll be doing it at 7, and then they're going to be doing it Monday, 6 days a week they're doing it. Loan signing agent. Look it up. Loan signing agent. And then notary. Notary, then loan signing agent. It's about a $400 process, and you could potentially make you $500-$600 a day if you got the hustle. We all got the hustle. If you can stand outside and freeze in that damn drug, in that cold to sell that dope, or you can stand your ass up and flip them burgers, or you could be at work with that dumbass supervisor that don't even know how to do your job and him tell you what to do. You can spend that $400 and learn how to do that and drive all around your metropolitan area and your state and get it done. So am I. But with that being said, I need y'all to look at this next video I got for you. Then I got one at the end of the video, end of the show. And I'm going to continue to hopefully inspire you and put you in the best possible mental state. And we're going to get out this jail.
I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich. Welcome to the Black Excellence and Abundance Channel. The Moors have a very rich history, and they ruled Spain and parts of Europe from the year 711 to around 1492. And they brought enormous learning to Spain that over the centuries would continue and have an impact on Europe even through today. The Moors were a group of mostly black Arabs and Hebrews from North Africa whose civilization and cultural achievements brought significant improvements to Europe during the Middle Ages and height of the Andalusian Empire. The term Moor was used to describe the black people in general during that time, not to describe Arabs or Hebrews or Africans, but just to describe blacks in general. Many people associate the Arabs as being the Moors. Well, during that time, you must understand that the Arabs were actually black people, as well as the Hebrews and the Africans. So the term Moor is really synonymous with blacks. And we would like to point out that we know that black is a color. There's no such race as black. However, we use the term for ease of reference only. We know that most black people in America, whether they know it or not, are descendants of the original biblical Hebrews. The Moors brought many advancements to Europe which were not known during that time, including advancements in the sciences. These scientific achievements came at a dark time in Europe's history and brought an overabundance of positive change to the region as a whole. The achievements and advancements brought by the Moors span across the fields of astronomy, philosophy, and mathematics, as well as architecture, medicine, and others. They brought new technologies and a new numbering system. Much of these advancements can be attributed to an emphasis on education by the Moors. One of the most fascinating examples of the architectural achievements the Moors brought to Europe can be witnessed in the magnificent Alhambra in Granada in Spain. This fascinating edifice is still standing today and is one of Spain's major tourist attractions. The architecture of the building can be attributed to mastering and usage of geometry and ratio concepts applied to its design and construction. The entire building, from foundation to wall art, is based entirely on a single ratio. This creates a sense of perfection in every aspect of the structure. It demonstrates the incredible architectural abilities of the Moors and was well ahead of the times.
These are actual pictures of the site as it stands today. Almost 1,000 years later, these buildings still stand. Built by the Moors in Spain.
The Moors were also famous for their expertise and skill in the field of medicine. Historian Jose Pimienta was quoted saying as that in the medicine sciences, the Moors made remarkable progress and surpassed the Greek-trained Muslim physicians of Persia, Nestorians, and other Eastern Islamic nations. He goes on to say, Moorish medicine was based on experimentation, reasoning, and observation. Moorish physicians used drugs, surgery, and cauterization. Medicine was a highly technical profession, complete with extensive training and a code of conduct. This was introduced during a time when Europe largely relied on a medical system based on superstition, relic worship, and prayer. These advancements, including the use of alcohol and proper hygiene, were a complete game changer. Even after the Moors were largely driven out of Europe, European medical schools were built on Moorish foundations, techniques, and research. Surely, the medical advancements of today should pay homage to the Moors and the Islamic societies of old.
The intellectual achievements of the Moors in Spain had a lasting effect. Education was universal in Moorish Spain, while in Christian Europe, 99% of the population was illiterate, and even kings could neither read nor write. At a time when Europe had only 2 universities, the Moors had 17. Located in Almeria, Cordova, Granada, Juan, Malagra, Seville, and Toledo. Universities in Paris and Oxford were established after visits by scholars to Moorish Spain. It was this system of education taken to Europe by the Moors that seeded the European Renaissance and brought the continent out of the 1,000 years of intellectual and technical gloom of the Middle Ages. In the 10th and 11th centuries, public libraries in Europe were non-existent, while Moorish Spain could boast of more than 70, including one in Cordova that housed hundreds of thousands of books. We do want to make this clear that we say this not to bash Europe or any other continent for that matter, but we do want to give an accurate account of the accomplishments of the Moors. And we do recognize also that the Moors definitely have a reputation of not being the most upstanding of people. However, the accomplishments that they made cannot be taken away. The following is a brief list of some of the other accomplishments that the Moors brought to Europe. The Moors introduced many new crops including the orange, lemon, peach, apricot, fig, sugarcane, dates, ginger, and pomegranates, as well as cotton, silk, and rice, which remain some of Spain's main products today. The Moorish rulers lived in stupendous palaces, while the monarchs of Germany, France, and England dwelled in big barns with no windows and no chimneys, and with only a hole in the roof for the exit of smoke. The Moors introduced paper to Europe and Arabic numerals, which replaced the Roman system. Prior to that, the Romans counted using alphabets and not numbers. At its height, Cordova, the heart of the Moorish territory of Spain, was the most modern city in Europe. The streets were well paved with raised sidewalks for pedestrians. During the night, 10 miles of streets were well illuminated by lamps. This was hundreds of years before there were any paved streets in Paris or a street lamp in London. Cordova had 900 public baths, and you must must remember, this was the time before homes had bathtubs and baths. We're told that a poor Moor will go without food rather than soap. All of the information that we say in this video, and all other videos for that matter, can be easily researched. We ask that you please do not take our word for anything, but to do your own research and draw your own conclusions. We thank you for listening, as always. The Black Excellence and Abundance channel, where Black history is every day.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And remember, thou art rich.
Welcome back. This is your man HRap coming at you live and direct. This is on Built for This Network on Spreaker.com. It's a simulcast here on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in again. Back to Building and Destroying. This is a podcast called The End of the Bench. Build and Destroy, where I attempt to build up our community and destroy the lies and propaganda that you frequently hear about our community. As I was stating, man, we as a community must stop allowing people to limit us. When you limit us, there is no limit to what we do. As you just saw, that's why I put that there, because there is no limit to the things that we can do. And if I can get this video to work at the end of the show, I think you'll really appreciate that as well. If not, sucks to be you. All right. No, I'm kidding. I kid. But I definitely just I want the best for us. I mean, it's all I've built on. It's all I live for. It's my goal in life. It is something that means a lot to me. That each and every one of you pursue your dreams and live your dreams. Because if you don't, what's the point of even walking around Earth? And dreams are not fancy stuff and a whole bunch of opulent things. If that's your dream, then hey man, I want you to have that too. But those are not the only thing that dreams consist of. But it could just be peace and freedom. And that's what it is. Peace and freedom, in my opinion. And what freedom is to you, it may not be to me. But whatever it is for you, I want you to have it. I want you to have it. Point blank, period. Because we consistently fall right into the traps of everybody else. No. And there's no such thing as, well, God, I want us to mind the words that we say. Shout out to my man, dog. Me and my man, dog, another brother. You get me and him on the phone, we ain't getting off for a while. But I want you to mind the words that you say. I stumbled across this and just sitting around. My back is messed up. And I haven't been able to do anything but think and do research for my shows. Thank y'all for tuning in, because I'll be ready to jump out the window at this point. But I want us to watch the way we think and watch what we say. And what I mean by that is this. We've fallen into this situation to whereas we think by wanting more, we're not grateful for what we have. Well, and I frequently hear people from our community say, well, I ain't complaining, but I wish I had this. Well, saying that you wish you had something, actually you living up, a lot of us, whether you spiritual or not, a lot of us were raised with that Bible. Some of us was raised with the Quran. And believe it or not, a lot of things in Quran are the same as in the Bible. It's like some of us call it soda, us call it pop, some of us call it sneakers, some of us call it gym shoes. It's kind of like that. But some of the great things about the holy books, it mentions to you that that God wants you to live in abundance. So when you make the statement, I wish I had more, all you're doing is living out his prophecy. You're living out the words of God. Stop saying, please, I'm going to ask y'all this. Stop saying this. Well, somebody else got it worse than me, but I'm glad what I have. The way I see it going forward is this. When you say, well, I wish I had a better car, but it's some people that don't even have a car. What you have told on the back end of that statement, what you have told God is, I'm cool, God. Go ahead, bless HRap. with that new car that he want, because at least I have a car. Or I'm glad to have this apartment, but I sure would like a house, but I ain't complaining. I'm complaining. I want a big dumbass house. I want a slick ass car. I want a bank account. I want more money in my bank. I want to make Jeff Bezos and Oprah look broke, because then I can help people. If I had that type of paper, I'll take one of these warehouses here in Chicago and turn it into a gigantic homeless shelter and a computer lab for the young people and things of that nature. I want it all. You know, if God said he want me to live in abundance, they say you can't outgive God, you can't outbeg Brian when you're talking, or the HRap when you're talking to God, because I want it all. But I don't want it all just for me. I want it all so I can help people as well. You know, I don't need $1 billion to have $1 billion sit out in this gigantic lake out here. I want $1 billion to help my people. And then after all my people are comfortable, because I have the realization that some of our people, they comfortable where they are, and you can't help them until it's their turn, until they wake up. But until enough of my people are put in the situations to whereas they can be comfortable or put themselves on the right path, then I can sit out here on this lake on that thing and laugh and joke and have a good time. But please stop saying, well, I ain't complaining. Yes, you are complaining. God, you gave me this. I'm going to need a little more now. That's what you need to be saying. I'm saying this. I'm going to need a little more. You know. And do I want to go on nice trips? Hell yeah, I want to go on nice trips. I don't want to just help people 24 hours a day. I want to help people. Then I'm going to sit my black behind at an island somewhere. But we got to dream. We got to stop this whole cowardly, I don't want too much. No, want everything. But also, hey, once God give you this stuff, now it's a competition between you and God. Because they say you can't outgive God. Well, you need to be trying. If you get $1 billion, you need to be trying to outgive God. Period. Point blank in a sentence. Because when you do that, you will get it back in other ways. So stop with this whole indentured for a servitude mentality that, well, at least I ain't getting beat today. No. You need to be talking to your friends about how to whoop the master. Let's kill him. Let's get him. And let's get what you want. Look, Fawn said this today. Write on your mirror what you want, so when you go wash your face in the morning, you see it. Write it on your refrigerator, so when you go get you a snack, you want that. Write it on the cabinet, so you put it in your car. We gotta start saying what we want and then acting on it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's all. No more. I got enough. I ain't got enough. Well, tell you what, God, since God listening all the time, for all those people that got enough, I'm gonna need you to shoot their blessings to me, and then I help them on the back end, because I need it all. I need it all. Period. And with that being said, I want us to take pride in ourselves. Me and Ray the Kev was talking. And we were talking about the Olympics. And he asked me, why didn't I talk about the Olympics? Because the Olympics didn't really mean that much to me. And when I did watch, what I noticed is people love our rhythm and hate our blues. I'm going to say that again. People love our rhythm, but they hate our blues. And what I mean by that is, you love us running down these damn tracks, handing these batons, winning these gold medals. You love us hitting these jump shots and jumping and flipping and all this. But when we say, hey man, my back hurt. Oh man, get over it. And then you even got people in our community, you let us down. Y'all, look. Women rule the earth. Whether we're more physical than them, but they run the earth. If they stop being here, we gonna stop being here. The fact that they set their asses up and they mess with our sister Gwen, and they mess with our sister Simone, and they mess with our sister, I can't think of her name right now. She been 3 or 4 Olympics and winning gold medals. She got pregnant and they wouldn't let her roll out. And They messed with our sisters in the swimming, and they disrespected Kevin Durant and all these people. They talking about Kevin Durant being drunk. Look, I just won a gold medal that the whole world told me I couldn't do, and y'all get mad at me because I'm having a drink and I'm 30-some years old. I'm tired of us subjecting ourselves to the judgment of other people, for respect of other people. So I don't really go hard in sports. Like if you knew me 365 days ago, this would be a show about sports. This would have been a show about the Olympics, and I would have been talking about sports, and I'd have been talking about the Bears, and I've been talking about the Raiders. But I cannot, in good faith to my community, big up the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, and anything in the track and field, and why they kicking us in the behind. You know, when I watch the Olympics, I'm rooting for everybody that's black. I'm rooting for everybody that's black. If your ass is from China and you black, I'm rooting for you. And there's people out here that, oh man, you supposed to be rooting for USA. USA ain't rooting for me. USA ain't rooting for our sisters. This sister Simone Biles. This is what annoyed me. She is a victim of a molestation from a doctor from Team USA. Now, Simone Biles was Kathy Griffin or Kathy White Lady. She'd have been a superhero. They'd have carried her around the Olympics on their back, and they'd have made her the poster child for something. But on the other hand, this girl, if she flipped the wrong way, she gonna break her damn neck. And people, oh man, she let her team down. No, she didn't. She let Team Biles won. And she let people know whether people don't want to acknowledge it or not. Me personally, I think it was a personal stance as well. Like, y'all can't do nothing without me, and y'all not gonna disrespect me. You ain't hear nothing about this dude NASA, this Dr. NASA, who molested her and a couple hundred girls. She dealing with that. She done won all these gold medals. She the most decorated gymnast in United States history. She come in, win when she want to. You clearly see she get down when she feel like get down. And she got to go above. Listen to that. She created a move. Part of gymnastics is the difficulty of the move that you execute. She created a move that nobody else can do, and they don't want to give her credit for that. They don't want to give her maximum credit for that. What the hell is wrong with it? And y'all want me to watch? Nah, I can't do that no more, man. I'm not doing that anymore, man. Because I done watched my sisters, my mama, my aunts, my grandmothers, my uncles, hey man, homegirls, ex-girlfriends, my ex, all do spectacular stuff with a little bit of this. So if y'all ain't gonna respect these black women, I'm not supporting this nonsense, man. I can't, man. LAPD out here harassing this young black basketball player because him and his girlfriend get into an argument. They tase him up, and now they want the NBA to enact some type of discipline against this young man for fighting them off. Yeah. They go in, but see, the first thing out their mouths is, we trying to get home. Well, that brother's trying to get. He's 6'10", 240 pounds. Y'all done tased him in his chest twice. He wanted to get home too. So see, this is why I can't do this Olympic and sports thing. If I sit up and tell you I don't watch sports no more, you can come on here next week and say, HRap, you're a black ass lie. Because I did still watch sports, but I just don't invest in it like I used to. And it's just a situation to whereas I can't do it no more, man. And that Team USA thing, and brother Ivan got a young brother and his family who's gonna be killing it. I'm just watching him and rooting for him one day. But as far as this flag waving, nah, man, I ain't doing that. I'm a red, black, and green flag. I might have a flag with the young brother name on it, and doing that. But it's time for us to come about this trap, man. We denigrate our brothers on TV. Like, I love Twitter. I talk to people that I don't know, and we have good conversations. I don't do all that old Beyonce beehive. I will block your ass in a minute. But talk to a lot of good people on there. We talk about us, but one thing I don't like is every day, who your top 5? Who is this? He's the best ever. The 9-3 and look, no more of that, man. No more of that. We gonna celebrate each other, man. If you a good can picker up off the corner, you killing it at the cans. That's what we got to start doing, because when we start ranking each other, we are lowering the other one. I ain't got no favorite aunt. I ain't got no favorite niece. I ain't got no favorite nephew, no favorite cousin. They all my cousins. I love everybody the same. Now, I'd be lying to say some of us don't connect better because we both got same type of personalities. Yeah. But we got to stop ranking for nothing. It ain't helping us. It ain't helping us. So, hey, man, you ain't got to be a fan of nobody, but we got to stop publicly denigrating each other. Now, if you're in the barbershop, if you at the cookout, you on some pillow talking, or you on the phone, say what you got to say, but publicly, we can't do this no more, because it is a set, divide, and conquer. It is a set, divide, and conquer. And if you're not with it, I understand. I understand. Everybody not going to see it my way. This is not a dissertation. This is not a dictator speaking to you. As you see, the people who support me, they consistently speaking, and I put them up on the screen. If I get time, I read it. I don't want to lose train of thought. But I just need us as a community to support each other. And support isn't blind support. Oh, man, because you black and you treated me like trash, I'm still going to support you. No, I'm not telling you that. We're going to support who support us. I'm going to support who support us. That's it. And I want us to stop kicking ourselves in the behind. Coming towards the end of the show, I want us to stop kicking ourselves in the behind. You know, what I mean by kicking ourselves in the behind, stop identifying what I didn't do right. If I misspeak a word, it ain't gonna do you no good to say, yo, HRap, you said duh, and it was supposed to be the. Shut the hell up. Did you get the point? We gotta stop doing that. We got to stop doing that. Because what I want y'all to understand is good is not the enemy of excellent. Good is third base. Excellent is home plate. Good is third base. Home plate is excellent. It should never be the enemy. Everybody isn't excellent, but if it's good and it's quality, celebrate it. You don't have to look, when you see somebody doing something and they miss a note, if they're a musician, they miss a note. If they're a writer, they miss a comma. If they're an artist, they miss a color or whatever. Don't identify, well, that was good, but that one thing in the corner that he could have did, shut the hell up. Was it quality? Then let it be quality. You know, I ain't telling you to support no trash, but why must we always identify what's wrong? I'm just saying. Why you gotta just say? Look. Hey, man, everything is admissible. Everything is feasible, but is it admissible? Is it going to benefit us for you identifying what's wrong with that? Big old beautiful picture with the mustache on the man could have been a little thicker. Shut the hell up. Enjoy it, man. I'm tired of seeing that or hearing that. Well, you know, that was good. But yeah, that was a good DJ. He played all my favorite songs. He kept us boogieing all night. But he didn't blend stuff well. Whatever. Good is not the enemy of excellence. It's a process. It's a process. Stop doing that. And right before I close out, I'm on a mission to get back healthy. The reason I can't sit still is because I sit still too long, my back hurts. So trust me, deal with me until I get better. I'm on a mission, and the mission is to have motion again. Please get back in motion. Motion helps you think clearly. It helps your health. It's going to put you in a better situation. It's a scientific fact. The more you move, the less you'll have asthma, diabetes, heart disease, all that stuff that kick our community in the behind. Moving does that. See, we put ourselves, they mentally drain us at these places of employment. And don't get me wrong, it ain't some white dude going, I'm going to get HRap. Yeah, he next. HRap is next. No, ain't no white dude saying that. It ain't no black dude saying that. But the system that we live up under is designed to keep working class people mentally exhausted. And when you're mentally exhausted, you sit down. And when you sit down, you gain weight. And when you gain weight, you gain ailments. So please, when you're mentally drained, stop moving. Moving physically. The endorphins will kick in. Once the endorphins kick in, you'll feel better. When you feel better, you'll think better. When you think better, you will come up with ways. When you come up with ways, you'll be in a better situation. We cannot allow the dominance of these people, the Mitch McConnells, the what's the lady name, who killing this, who killing this, Nancy Pelosi, these multi-billionaires, these multi-millionaires gonna look out for us. No, they're not. They're not here for us. They're not here for us. See, they are the reason that you believe in Democrat and Republican. They're the reason you believe in gay and straight. They're the reason you fight as a Muslim and a Christian. They're the reason that you fight in Chicago, South Side, West Side. They the reason of the black community talking this light-skinned, dark-skinned stuff, because they got you screwed over, and you bent over every barrel, taking it in the behind, because you're not astute, you're not aware enough to realize that they are screwing you. They screwing you. If you get up and go to work every day, you are, hey man, look, if your debt is greater than the money you bring in, you can't sit down and do nothing ever. Period. I don't give a damn if you make $100,000. I don't care a damn if you make $250,000 a year. If you live in a $300,000 home and you got a car payment, you ain't rich. Rich people don't have no bills. And I'm not knocking it because I want a $300,000 house. And I want a condo like that. I want it all. But I need us to get up and move. Man, I walked a mile a day and my back feel like somebody shooting me in it right now. I'm in pain all up in here, but I still walked a mile a day because I need us and you and everybody who get up and go to work to get their mind moving again, man. Get your mind moving. Get your mind right, man. We cannot stay in the house anymore. We have to walk around your block. Just walk around your block. Walk around your block, man. Get your mind in order. We can't do this anymore. We cannot sit around and do this anymore. I have lost, since February 2020, I lost 15 friends. 14 friends. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to talk to them anymore. I'm not going to be able to laugh and joke with them anymore. And it's all this high blood pressure, cancer, all this, man. We got to get our mind right. I'm going to have my man Steve. I keep forgetting to ask Steve. Me and Steve got to hook up. Steve going to come on the show on Saturdays or Tuesdays. And he going to offer some helpful things health-wise. And if you have something, you know how to get at me, inbox me, Brian D. Williams. Get at me, HRap_B on Instagram and on Twitter, whatever. We can link up. We can get these things resolved. But I don't need this nonsense anymore. I don't. I can't take it no more. It's not me. I can't do it no more. I'm not going to do it no more. I'm not going to allow us to do it anymore. Now, if you come on with me and we can get to the end of this, or you can continue to suffer and it sucks to be you. But the people who are going to roll with me mentally, spiritually, and financially, I'm going to do everything I can to get you right, man. I'm going to do everything I can to get you right, because I'm trying to get, I told y'all, man, I want to be able to lend Chase Bank $20. I'm telling you, this day, man, I have mastered this working class thing. It sucks. It ain't nothing cool about working for what you get. Nah, I want to be able to sit on my black ass and do nothing. But I'm going to do something. But I want to be able to have the privilege of doing that, man. Hey, I just seen my man pop in. I want y'all to see. There's two people on the thing. They got a YouTube page. Find This Wine Cooking. I need you to support that brother. He doing good things. He having good topics. He had good people on it. He got talent on his thing. He cooking some dope meals. I need y'all to support that brother. I need y'all to support Rated Kev. Please support my man Rated Kev. He doing good things. And I'm going to see if I get this video to work. And if I get this video to work, I think it's something, it ties right into what I was just saying. So give me a second. This live, so this ain't Memorex. So I need y'all to see if I can get this thing cracking. If I get this thing cracking, then this would be a small treat. No, if it get to working, then it works, and if it don't, y'all, I'm gonna need y'all let me know if it works properly. And if it don't, man, I'll just send y'all the links. A lot of y'all got my phone number anyway. I'll send y'all the link. It's something that works. Yeah, it is. Let me know if it's some sound to it, man. If it's sound to it, then it's going to be very, 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 very beneficial.
There's an exercise.
Do y'all hear that? Can y'all hear that? Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
Rockstar energy drink. Wow, I just put that in history. See how quick history come up right there? Rockstar energy drink. Those who want to do the exercise, we're going to say rockstar to ourselves without opening our mouths, without saying anything outside. We're going to say this to ourselves. We're going to say rockstar to ourselves. Don't say it out loud. The count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now the question to ask, if you've said rockstar in your mind, the question to ask is, what voice is that? What voice is that? What voice just spoke? You just said rockstar without moving your mouth at all. On top of that, you on top of saying rockstar, you heard yourself say rockstar. How can you hear yourself say rockstar and no vibration of sound has happened? See, this puts a different perspective on what sound actually is. And what memory is. Memory is not in the brain. Memory is in the soul. The only thing you take with you after this life is your memories or your knowledge, your experiences. That's the only thing you take. Unless you study Egypt culture, they believe you can take all this stuff with you on the other side. Just as a side note. But if you said rock star in your mind or in your being is the true statement. In your being, what was that voice? What was the voice that spoke and then you heard yourself speaking? But these ears did not hear you say anything because your mouth didn't move. So the ears didn't hear it, the mouth did not move, but you spoke and you heard yourself speaking. If you close your eyes, you can see this better. If you close your eyes and put this image in another sight, if you close your eyes, you can still see this. What is the sight that can see your future? These two eyes don't see the future. These two eyes don't see the past. Yet, you can see your past and you can see your future. You can actually see your past. What is the sight that can see beyond time? Don't give it away. This is an ancient meditation. This is an ancient meditation that I am not the flesh. I am the energy, the consciousness, the being in the flesh. And this is proof. This is no faith. This is not religion. This is actual fact. You can speak without moving your mouth. You can hear without ears. You can see without eyes. So what happens
consciously. Now, no one wants to die before their time, so you try to protect yourself. But know that this body is the limitation of you. It is not your zenith. It is not your ultimate. Your ultimate is that voice that just said rock star. That voice that just said rock star without nothing physical moving, that person is immortal. That person is not here with you. Let's go deeper. The body is in, what is it, 3 dimensions, right? Forward, back, right, left, up, down, and time. 4th dimension. 3 dimensions plus time. That's our physical reality. Front, back, right, left, up, down, that's 3D plus time. What happened to in and out? Look at the Easter, look at the English thought. Back, forth, right, left, up, down, no in and out. No in and out. What is in and out? Rock star. Rock star says, I exist without the body. So where is this other existence? Where is it? It's not here. It's not in 3-dimensional space where you really are. The person that said this.
Why aren't you the landlord? It's you. Why aren't you the landlord? Every day you go to and from work and you look up and you see apartment buildings.
Is in a whole different dimension. Just switch a little bit. Talk to yourself more. Affirm to yourself more. Don't move none of that. No, close this down and go within and say, I am the greatest ... ever. I have all my needs coming with speed. I am a being of love and light and knowledge. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Whatever it is, have your affirmation on your tongue. Or, sorry, in your being. This is how the gods created this whole reality. The first humans, imagine, the first humans, they came from inner space. They came out. Study the Anunnakis. They came out of inner space. Not from outer space, inner space. Rock star. Before there was a body, there was this voice traveling in this voice's dimension. To get here to the earth, the inner voice created this outer extension of itself to be in this dimension. Once you realize that you are not just in this dimension, but you're also in another dimension, you now are free. Because whatever happens to you here in this dimension is not your only reality. See, this is how Jesus was able to get beaten and brutalized and hang on the cross. He wasn't here. He was the rock star. Inside, he went to the inner man. Do what you want with the body. I'm not here. Now, once you realize that level of consciousness, where you are officially, you identify yourself as the spirit, not the flesh. You are the inner voice, not the outer voice. Once you become the inner voice, now your outer voice has power. Now when you speak, it's not just a shell speaking. There's a being speaking through the shell. And this is where you heal all sickness in your body. This is where you command reality to work with you, and it works according to your consciousness. Why? Because it's not a shell that's speaking. There's a real being in the shell that is speaking. And when the real being speaks, all nature and the universe responds.
Thank you for tuning in. This is HRap coming at you from Built for This Network, Spreaker.com, and on YouTube. And what I want you to do, I want to thank you again for tuning in. I hope that helped, man, because A lot of us, that's exactly how I end the show. I want us to realize that how great we are. And when you realize how great you are, you'll realize nothing can hold you back. Yeah, discrimination, racism, roll cops and laws and things, that they are standing your way. But the reason we have people like the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the reason we got Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, Fannie Lou Hamer, Dorothy Chisholm, and so forth. I mean, we can go on for the rest of our existence and look at these people and realize what they have to offer and what they have offered us. You realize, hey, if they can do that in the midst of Jim Crow segregation, redlining, Ku Klux Klan, so forth and so on, and being in bondage and things of that nature, what could hold you back? Nothing. You are holding you back. You are the master of the universe. You are in control of everything. And all you have to do is say, this is what I want, and God will give it to you. And the people who stand in your way, you just look at them and say, sit your ass down! Sit your ass down! And then you get past them. And that's it. I'm here to say thank you again for tuning in. Tune in Tuesday. I'll be back with a little more information. Hopefully this was wildly helpful. And if it wasn't, sucks to be you. Oh, no, I'm joking. Hopefully it was wildly helpful, and I'll be back Tuesday to give you some more help, some more assistance, some more information, and hopefully some more enlightenment. I am HRap B. This is Built for This Network, and y'all know how I do every week. I want to salute Reggie O'Shea, a.k.a. Combat Jack. He ended all his shows with build your dreams and man up and woman up and live your dreams, because life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in technicolor and surround sound. And this is your man, HRap B, and I end every one of my shows by saying, first of all, thank you for on the Spreaker.com side. I didn't visit on that side because I got on a verbal roll, but I want to thank she's the first lady. I got my man Ali, I got my man D Great over there, and I got my man DJ Ramal over there. I didn't need a chance. I usually inculcate East Side. My bad. Sorry, sucks to be me. I'm only human, charged to my head, not to my heart. And I want to say, do something, man. Do something before something is done to you. Again, this is me signing off. HRap B, 2 fingers, 1 word, and I'm out.
We are built for this network, for the strong, not the weak.